Here we go, baby.
Baby.
Dylan, let me ask you. I must ask you a
Yeah,
question.
question.
What do you think of razor blades?
Uh, um, well,
Dylan,
it was very
I must ask.
difficult to get
Dylan, I
through
must
that
ask
part.
you a question.
Yeah.
What do you think of fungus?
What? Fungus?
Fungus. No,
Um, I like mushrooms.
Dylan. What must ask you question? What
What?
do you What do you think of the movie Freaky Friday?
I don't know. That the name kind of rings a bell, but I have no idea.
They
But
swap bodies, you dingus.
oh, yeah, that sounds familiar. I've never seen it, but the concept, yeah, of the
Jojo's
movie.
Bizarre Adventure.
Yes, it's very nice.
What was
But
the chapters 102 to 155?
yeah, that's true.
That's storm warning in Sardinia, which leads into King Crimson versus Metallica, all the way through to the end, Sleeping Slaves,
That's also true.
and that's anime episodes 27 to 39.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, baby.
Yeah, so we basically start off following a new character.
Yeah, for any
Yeah.
of you anime onlys that are wondering our thoughts on the flashback, Diavolo's flashback, you gotta wait on that. That's much later in the
What?
manga.
What
Yeah,
is that?
this stuff. What
Wait, which flashback?
the the one in Sardinia when he's growing up and he gets
Oh.
born and he's growing up. All that up through when he burns down the town. That's all right here in the anime, and then we move into meeting Doppio for the first time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes. But
Interesting.
yeah, we are meeting Doppio here.
Yeah.
Such an unexpected character, but it's so lovable. I enjoy him.
He's so dopey.
He's a little dope.
Yes.
Vinegar Doppio. Not many characters have a last name outside of the main cast in this part. They're all just
Yeah.
named Ham and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. Ham and ice.
And
Things like
Mirror.
things of those that nature.
Yeah, we meet Doppio trying to. I I think the idea is that like he was actually trying to save the bug based on the end of the chapter, but he might have just been trying to save the kid here too. I don't really know. He almost gets hit by a truck trying to save somebody because he's just so unlucky. That's kind of his thing.
Yeah.
And then
What a guy.
he meets a fortune teller.
Yes. Luck
I
is a ongoing thing and things
I
of that
don't
nature. Yes?
I, I don't know what it is, but the fortune teller just feels like classic JoJo, like something you'd see in like parts 1 through 3.
Yeah, he really. Well, I think it's just because he looks really like it's like a really racist design, so that's probably why. So, just being honest,
Yeah,
that's probably why.
it's probably because he's not a pretty boy in a part where almost everybody is.
That too, yeah.
But like, it also might just be how he acts. He acts like a total fucking freak.
Yeah.
But I love this scene a lot.
Yeah, because this guy is freaking the fuck out.
I just
It's great.
I, I just like how the tension keeps building steadily as you
Mhm.
piece together more and more about who this new character is, and you're kind of right there with the fortune teller, wondering how this is all possible. Like when he says like you're here searching for your daughter who's 15 or something along those lines, you can kind of put together in your head like, oh, this is the boss, but then you're kind of like, you're wondering along with this guy, like, wait, how is
How?
that right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll tell you how. He has like a dual age mode.
Yeah, he's got multiple personalities, but like on a completely different level.
Yeah. as as soon as the fortune teller gets a little too grabby, Doppio just kind of flips his lid and starts shifting into the boss, and he gets like muscly. And although we don't see his face, the fortune teller notes that he looks a lot older now.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting how like the fortune teller is just so like curious, I guess, by like how this could be possible that like he just like doesn't really care too much about like, dying, or he does, but like he's just so distracted by like how crazy the situation is that he can't really like react in
He's
like a
not processing.
yeah, he's not processing it in like any kind of reasonable manner.
Yeah, I like that. I I also like in the anime for I think it's just one line, but Doppio and Diavolo have like a two voiceover thing going. That was cool.
Mhm.
So yeah, he kills. Well, before he kills the fortune teller, he shows him a picture of risotto with lipstick on for some reason. He doesn't have that in his regular design. He's got lipstick on in this picture in the manga. He asks him like, "Is this guy on the island?" The fortune teller just says like, "He'll meet him soon," and then he kills him.
Nice. Yeah, well, Risotto obviously sent that to the boss to
It's a headshot. Yeah.
well, yeah, but I mean like he's trying to lay low by not wearing lipstick, if you know what I mean.
Ah,
Yeah.
right, right. Fuck me now.
He'll never discover it's me. I'm not
Yes,
wearing lipstick.
me and my stripy pants and my harness and my jingle hat.
Yes.
My jingle hat that has my name on it. On each bell has a letter on it. Gangsters don't like to stand out, Dylan. What are you not getting about this?
Speaking of not standing out,
Yeah, the kid.
Diavolo's whole thing is like not letting people know who he is, but like this kid just sees him murder a dude and he just lets him go.
Yeah. Well, I guess the kid doesn't know he's the fucking mafia guy.
Yeah, but like any kind of witness at all is like you would think he wouldn't let anything go.
Yeah, you would think, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's weird.
whatever. Yeah. So yeah, he Doppio heads down to Costa Smeralda, and almost gets the cabbie's trying to con him, and our little boy Doppio, he's not he's getting flustered. He's not can't handle this. He can't handle this. Oh, his constitution. So he almost rips the guy's eye out.
I would do the same thing except for the ripping the guy's eye out part.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
Really relate.
this is also when we get his famous phone stuff.
Yes. He is this the
What
part
was
where it's
yeah,
like the banana or something? I don't remember.
it's the card thing, little candy
Oh,
card thing.
yeah.
What
Whatever
what
the
did you
fuck it
think?
is.
What did you think of this character quirk of his?
um it's fucking insane. He just like starts fucking ringing.
Yeah,
Like, oh my god.
I think the
That's
best part is
yeah.
the best part is always the reactions.
I know because people are just like this uh, like any like level of like thinking that he might be in any way sane is just out the window as soon as anybody hears this.
I think my
It's just
favorite is My favorite's the little girl on the plane where you think he's talking on a normal phone, but then it's a fucking toy phone.
Yeah, that was great. And then, oh my god, and she's just like, yeah, we're playing phone.
She like looks at it and she's like,
Yeah,
hello?
she's like, yeah, wow, you're really good at this pretend game, sir.
What was all that stuff about murder?
He's like, why, thank you, small child.
Thank you. Oh. So yeah,
It's so good.
that's how Doppio and Diavolo communicate. Phone calls through not phones. Although he does use a phone when he's got a phone.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah. And this leads into the proper introduction of Risotto, who, might I say, well worth the wait on him.
He's very cool.
He is pretty.
Yes.
He's just like, he's the leader of the Hitman team. You expect a lot out of him, and I just think he delivers great. He's pretty much the premier assassin. He's got no real quirkiness outside of his Jojo design. He's got those creepy black eyes, and he's really smart.
I really like his design. It's just kind of like, compared to a lot of the designs like in part 5, it's kind of more like simple for
Yeah,
a part 5 character, not like an
it's
actual simple design, but you know what I mean.
it's sleek.
Yeah.
It stands out, but he doesn't look too clownish.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think it's the eyes that make it.
Plus he's edgy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
I think this is about as edgy as JoJo characters really come.
Yeah.
The bloody blades and my black eyes.
He only looks like a half Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yes. And the other half is Double D from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
I don't see the resemblance, but
Look at that
we'll
hat.
go with that.
Look
What?
at the hat. His hat. He's got a hat.
Oh, that's a hat?
Yeah, that's a hat. Did you think his hair just had little jinglies?
Well, yeah. People do
Well,
that. People
see
put
his hair.
jinglies in their hair.
You can see his hair coming out from the top. You can see his bangs. They're like purple.
In the colored manga, it's all the same color. His hair,
What?
his hat, and his clothes are all the same shade of like purplish black.
His hat's red, isn't it? Or black?
Well, in the colored manga, it's the same color. So, what's his name? Risotto?
Risotto Nero. That's not black. That's like purplish. You can see like
Yeah,
little...
purplish black. Okay, yeah. Well, his actual hair color is silver, and like all of his clothes are black and not purple in the anime. But in the manga, it's all like purplish black.
Dylan, I'm the colorblind one here. I should be making these mistakes.
Mistakes? I've never seen this character in the anime.
Dylan, stop making mistakes.
Damn.
Stop being so mistaken.
Anyways, even in the anime, he's a very edgy boy.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I think part of the reason why I love this fight a lot is just because we never really get any other villain versus villain fights in the series. Any other examples I can really think of have characters that are by that point too complex to really be called a villain, like in part 7 and part 8 near the end. I think this is the only one I can really just call a full-blown villain versus villain fight.
What about Kira versus
the cat?
The cat.
Fair enough. It's like half a chapter.
Yeah, and plus it's like a cat.
Yeah, the cat didn't do no wrong.
Yeah.
Why are you dunking on the cat?
Because fuck cats.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he also has a backstory in the manga. It's like on a little character profile thing.
Oh, risotto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's on
yeah.
one of the. Yeah, with all the extra time the anime gave Risotto, I'm surprised they didn't give him like 20, 30 seconds at least to tell the backstory a little, because he does get a lot of extra time in the anime.
Interesting.
But not here though, like spread out. Like
Yeah.
like you remember the the flashback about the Hitman team that they added during
Mm-hmm.
Aerosmith. After that, there's a lot of like extra cutaways towards him and sometimes other members. Like I think at the end of Man in the Mirror Purple Haze, they show him finding the burnt photograph ashes throughout Babyface and the start of White Album. He's like, we're cutting back to him getting the photo reconstructed, and I think there might have been one more after.
Huh.
So yeah, they really liked they really liked Risotto in the anime, and they added another scene to this arc. It's like a little flashback scene where we see all of the Hitman squad together once again.
I still don't understand how they rebuilt that photo from the ashes.
Uh, 2001 technology that we definitely had then.
Yes. And now.
Yeah, and now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, before they fight, Doppio just kind of acts like a dope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he is one.
Oh yeah. Yes. But yeah, like I said, Risotto's a smart cookie. So he, even though Doppio is just acting like as helpless as you possibly can be, and like hides the photo of Trisha's mom, he gives himself away because Risotto notices, like, he looks in the direction of like an airplane sound, but that's not a regular airplane. That's dang old Aerosmith. And that's how he learns he's a stand user.
Yeah. I like how like the whole early part of this fight is just, basically about Doppio trying to, act the fool like he is and not give
Right.
it away.
I
It
enjoy that
it's
too.
really an interest like it's kind of hard for like other characters to just act like they're not stand users because I mean you look at them and they're stand users, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But Doppio just
That's
he
pretty
could be
normal.
any just any old escape from the escapee from the mental ward, just
Yeah.
just any old escapee.
I swear to God, I'm just in a rocky background asshole. I don't have a name. Look at my ugly face.
Yeah.
I'm a racist caricature, please.
Yes, exactly.
Uh, you know what else is the thing I like about this arc? It's how Bucciarati's group is used.
Yeah,
I
they're just
like
yeah.
I I like that they don't like they're not like at the sidelines watching, but they're still becoming like an integral part, both
Hmm.
at the start and like Risotto learning Opio as a stand user, and then at the end as well.
Yeah, you
It's
don't need
done.
any of them standing there like giving their commentary.
Yeah, you don't. I Diavolo is the speedwagon here, honestly.
Kind of, except he like gets involved, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, they trade. He and Doppio
Yeah.
kind of trade the speedwagon role. Speedwagon role.
It's cool though.
Yeah, and so once he learns that Doppio is a stand user, Doppio rushes in and tries to just punch him. But that's when it starts.
Uh, the
Yeah,
cringe.
this is a lot of people have problems getting through this arc just because of how gory it is. Is creating needles and razors in his face and his throat. It's
Yeah.
wild. It is wild. I love it. Although I have no idea how you survive just one of that.
By being Doppio, and I don't
Yeah.
know.
By being dope as fuck.
Well, like, it makes sense to, like, survive it, I guess, but, like, there is not enough blood coming out of his mouth or his face or anything.
Also, his face should just be like ground beef after all this.
It really would. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
I love the frog phone. That's a new one.
Yeah. Do you think it's the same frog Zeppeli punched?
It's their descendant.
He survived. His will lives on.
Yes.
It's the frog star bloodline.
Or I guess it could be the same frog because the frog was imbued with hormone, right?
Yeah. He lived on that hormone for years and years and years.
Yes.
Only to die as a cell phone.
Yes. At least he became of some use.
Yeah. So yeah, this is after he gets the frog phone. This is when we see Doppio's quote unquote stand ability, and it's pretty much that he has parts of King Crimson. He has the arms to attack, and he has Epitaph, which is King Crimson's sub ability of seeing the future, which apparently is connected to the little face on the face because the little face comes on Doppio's face.
Yes. Little face.
Oh, little face. I really love the visualization of them seeing the future as watching like through a curtain of hair like it's a screen. I think that's really creative and fun.
Wait, that was I did not pick up on they kept talking about screens and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's like his hair flowing in front of his
Yeah.
face.
I could see it now. I just yeah, I didn't understand that. That's
I think
cool.
it's really yeah. I think it's creative and it looks cool on a manga panel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely does.
So they're fighting. They do fighting in a
Buddy.
way that I definitely remember what happens.
Um well, pretty much Doppio just gets really lucky a lot. I think
Yeah.
he manages
Although,
to not die a
although
lot.
he does do some pretty smart stuff when he realizes that it's like a magnetic sort of thing because the frog it happens to the frog before him and he uses that to figure out which way risotto is and that lets him chop off his dangled foot.
Rip frog.
Goodbye, frog. You lived a long hormone filled life and you were a cell phone for a short while. That was nice.
Yes. Very useful. Very useful.
Oh yeah, and after Risotto loses his foot is when we see how Metallica looks.
It's just a bunch of little they look
Little
kind of like
fellas.
ghosts.
Yeah, they're like little. He's got ghosts in his blood.
And they even say "Ooh."
They're saying "load" because that's
Oh,
the
I see.
Metallica album. That's a Metallica album.
Okay.
It's fun. Uh, but yeah, pretty much the whole fight. Doppio is like on the back foot for most of this fight. It's really kind of fun seeing him just kind of keep fucking up and getting hit.
Yeah, that's the thing about Doppio is that like he like he only has a fraction of King Crimson's powers, and obviously he's not very like decisive, but like he can still hold his own.
Yeah,
So he always takes a few hits, but yeah,
probably more than he would likely survive. But yeah,
somehow, somehow.
yeah. Uh, and as the fight goes on, Risotto keeps like learning more and more and getting more and more curious about the nature of Doppio, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun seeing that. And eventually, the fight gets uniquely disgusting when Risotto starts talking about how like what happens if you lose all the iron in your blood, and all of the blood coming out of Doppio starts turning like a mucusy green.
Yeah. Because he lose the iron.
You can't even breathe.
Man, he's creating a lot of stuff out of the iron in the blood. Kind of makes you think
Yeah.
it's a little
There's not
inaccurate.
enough. There's not enough iron in the blood to create even like a small piece of a razor blade.
Yeah.
Let alone all this shit.
A bunch of razor blades, a bunch of
Scissors.
needles, scissors, and just
more razor blades.
Yeah.
Those staples he uses to put his foot back on.
Well, that was from his blood.
Oh yeah.
But still, that's more than he should be able to make.
Probably, yeah. So yeah, eventually Doppio sees like a chunk of his head missing, and that's kind of where we enter the final stage of this fight. And it's also where Risotto figures it out. He figures out Doppio is the boss, or that they're like a split personality of some sort.
They are connected.
They are one. We are one. And it looks like he's gonna take him out, but then turns out when Doppio threw a knife earlier, he threw it towards Bucciolati's group. So they sent over an Aerosmith, and because he's not breathing properly, he's not showing up on Aerosmith's scanner. So Risotto, and only Risotto, is gunned down.
That's a wild ass beat.
That's a wild twist, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah, like you keep thinking like they're just gonna like fight over here, not, Bucciolati's group is not gonna get involved.
But it's to the point where like every time they come back into importance in this arc, it's right after like it's been long enough that you've forgotten they're there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome.
Very awesome.
So yeah, Risotto goes down, and Diavolo tries to get him to put his iron back in his blood somehow, but Risotto like takes control of Aerosmith kind of with Metallica and uses to shoot, but King Crimson he uses King Crimson to avoid it, and Risotto dies. F Ooh. In the chat.
F's and F's. Yeah.
Yeah. But another thing that I love about this fight, Diavolo is just like in such a precarious state afterwards, and it really makes the next couple chapters just so like tense. We know things can't go perfectly, but like Diavolo's in such a bad spot, we have no idea how he's gonna save the situation for himself, essentially.
Yeah, he's basically lost all the iron in his blood.
He can't breathe. He has to eat a frog.
He has to eat Mr. Phone Frog's brother. No. Which, God. I mean, you don't like just absorb the iron into your blood that quickly, but
can't do that. Diavolo's connecting to his Dio origins, I guess, by drinking some blood.
Must be done.
You gotta do it. You're covered in blood and mucus.
Why didn't if like we're getting this far away from reality, why didn't he just like eat one of the razor blades?
If I chew enough,
Like,
it'll break
honestly.
down.
Yeah.
Maybe if I eat some sand, the iron particles will be absorbed
Yes.
into me.
What if I just breathe a lot and just
What if I
absorb the
use my
iron in the air?
what if what if I use hormone energy to do a hormone life magnetism overdrive and suck in all the iron into my blood?
Why not?
Why not? You know, at this point, why not? Uh, so yeah, back with Bucciolati's group, Giorno, Nista, and Trish are on their way over while Abacchio starts the rewind at the where the picture was taken, and Bruno and Narancha are checking up on the enemy. Uh, and
Wait, where exactly were Giorno, Mista, and
Trish,
Trish?
somewhere else, I guess they were like keeping watch or something. You know, because Narancha and
Yeah.
Bruno, they were gonna guard Abacchio while he did it, but they had to leave, so they're like, okay, get them over here. And to be fair,
Hmm.
they're not that far away.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have just been in the in the turtle. But I don't know. We
Uh,
we get no idea where the turtle is in this.
I
Oh,
think Mista's holding it.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, Narancha and Bucciolati, they're chasing after the downed enemy, and it's kind of like what I was saying about. I think I was saying it about Notorious B.I.G. There's like good horrors when the characters are basically being smart and doing everything that like you would think to do and still fail, and that's kind of like how I feel in this section of the chapters in Sardinia. Bucciolati is pretty much making every right call, thinking of every kind of um, like every possibility, and but they still end up like still end up fucking up
They end up
because
being outwitted.
they get outwitted. Diavolo vampires some kid and steals his soccer uniform, which he uses as a disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we go back to Abacchio trying to do the rewind, but some kids lost their ball. It's up in a tree. Yeah, even though it got him killed, and some may call it a dumb move on his part considering the circumstances, I think Abacchio getting the ball for the kids, I think it's an important character bit for him just before his death.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like he's had plenty of utility throughout the part, but not many character moments since turning traitor. And if you don't count that, since Man in the Mirror, it's sort of reminding us that under all that attitude, he's a guy with a softer heart than you'd expect,
Hmm.
especially in the anime where he has a little like content smile, and then he gets a fist through the chest.
When I was first reading this part, I thought like he was in the middle of like I thought like he was still in the middle of going over the history
Right.
with the stand, and he like walked away like as it got to the part that he was waiting for, and then he just missed it. I thought that's what was going to be what happened. But
Nope.
no, he just
Donut.
died.
Yeah, donuted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we move into just about the scene with Abakio's visions after his death they're just amazing to me, honestly. Like I love
Yeah.
this bit, especially in the anime. Oh god. The an I Fun fact about me, I have never once cried over a show, movie, book, manga, video game, none of that. This scene in the anime, Abakio's death scene, that was the closest I have ever come.
Wow. Because like you think
Like,
about it, coming this is like coming off of part 4 where none of the main characters die.
Right.
And so like
Rohan and Okuyasu come close, but those are like reversed.
yeah, and like when that happens, you're so surprised, and because obviously before then in like parts 1 through 3, like there were lots of
Yeah.
character deaths, but like in
Right.
part 4, then you're surprised like, oh wow, they actually survived to the end. And
Yeah.
now in part 5, you're like, well, I guess this is now the trend, right? No,
Yep.
no,
Nope.
it's not.
Yeah. I think I one thing is like even though I knew it was coming because I had read the manga, I think part of
Mhm,
the reason why the anime just got me one is that it takes its time a little bit more. Like in the manga, it doesn't feel rushed, but like there's a lot of panels with multiple speech bubbles and like characters are kind of they're going a little fast with it, I guess. I don't know. Just the anime just kind of gives every little like expression and every character action like the time to happen. You know, you got the full screen. It's focusing on that. The music, and especially the voice acting. Narancia just kills me right there. Legitimately.
yeah.
But like, there's other stuff about it that I like, and one of the first one I wanted to mention is a connection to Diavolo that I had never noticed on like yeah, aside from the connection of his fist through his torso, but like on like a not a personality, like a concept basis, I guess. We get this like dream sequence. That's another thing too. I love that we're getting this focus on like Abakio after his death because
Mhm.
that's where everybody thinks about Kakuin's death and he is sort of like the same thing, not a dream sequence, but we have a lot of time with his final thoughts as opposed to a death like Avdol or Narancho where the point of it is that it's so sudden and thinking about how the other characters feel. This we're right here with Abakio,
Mhm.
just like with Kakuin. But as I was saying, we're in this dream sequence with Abakio, and he's talking to this police officer, and he's trying to gather evidence, and Abakio is talking about like, what? Why are you even bother doing all this hard work? You may not even get the evidence, and even if you do, the the criminal may be found innocent anyway and go free. The dead, and this ends up being Abakio's dead partner from his past, but the dead partner says when asked why he bothers that like why he bothers if justice may not actually be served, he says that the results don't matter, and if you focus only on the results you'll end up taking shortcuts and eventually lose sight of the truth. Sound familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In King Crimson's world only the results matter. by, by skipping time, King Crimson and Diavolo, they take shortcuts. And as we saw in the final arc, as Giorno so eloquently put it, he lost sight of the truth. He's no longer fighting for the truth. And
Wow.
that's just a connection I've never noticed before, but I love it now that I've noticed it.
That's great.
Yeah. Not only not only is Abakio reckoning with his past actions and finally coming to terms with them, but it's a direct response to how Diavolo operates, like condemning him for losing sight. I love it, and that sort of leads into Abakio essentially showing his true self here at the end. He's coming clean to what he thinks is a random guy, saying that he envies people like him who have quote the will to seek the truth, as in like yeah, you can kind of tell he's talking about his own comrades, and how he considers himself like a fuck up for like he considers himself like a fuck up that will inevitably choke partway through anything. But the officer says that the will has returned to him, and that's like exemplified right after by Abakio's hurry to return to the group and continue to seek the truth with them.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll soon see that because his will returned like that, he was able to complete his task, setting the group into motion for this final confrontation. There's a lot of great death scenes in JoJo, but this is absolutely my favorite. Dylan, did it make you sad?
It made me sad, but it didn't make me think about a lot like that. But yeah.
Dylan, did it make you so sad that you cried little tears out of your penis?
Specifically my penis, yes, but not my eyes.
Dylan, let that blue boy rest.
I'm, shh, relax.
Dylan, why haven't you started telling me about how awesome this is? Tell me.
Well, you see, this is a a podcast for kids, family friendly, and
That's why we say fuck.
I can't be talking about my true feelings, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You hate
What the fuck? I wasn't even going in that direction, but okay. Yeah, so Abakio died before he could tell the others about
That's right.
About what he discovered. Who the boss is.
But wait, hearken here to therefore. Looketh upon ye. He's got a little rock.
He is holding rock. What
yeah.
what a good boy Abakio is. He got to share his rock collection with the others before he died.
Yeah. And Giorno turns it into a ladybug that flies over to the broken little statue area, and they find an imprint of the boss's face. Even though he died, Abakio did it.
I love to imagine like whoever's like the groundskeeper for like this area just like shows up one day and just like, why is there a face in this pillar?
Well, Doppio smashed it, so it'd probably be like, where the fuck
did
the pillar
go? That's true. That's funny though.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's not as pronounced as it was with the rest of the main cast, where they all had like that moment of like, man, I sure like listening to Giorno, but Abakio leaving his clue like in a way that Giorno would obviously like find and be able to use his powers to lead them back. It's like showing that Giorno had earned his trust in the end, and I enjoy that.
You know, now that I think about it, did them knowing his face ever help at all?
I mean, it got Polnareff to like. Polnareff
oh yeah.
Polnareff got like a little Twitter alert that somebody was looking for him. So I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
It is kind of weird that the thing that Abakio essentially sacrificed himself for is only tangentially related to like their ability to solve this.
Like it was just a coincidence that they ended up contacting Polnareff.
Kinda, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Polnareff can feel I think he can feel a bit tacked on to the narrative.
Yeah.
But having him back is really nice.
Absolutely.
Did you know? I know you knew Polnareff was in part 5, but did you know when the laptop started speaking that it was him?
I was like, this has to be Polnareff. I was thinking it was either Polnareff or like somehow Dio for some reason. I don't know.
He's like alive, like the German guy, Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I was like,
Giorno,
oh god, it's Dio.
Oh god.
I love Polnareff and all, but like, I guess we should save the Polnareff talk for later.
we'll save the Polnareff talk for later. For now, he's just a voice on a laptop, and
Yeah.
this is very good stuff. I love this this kind of stuff
Yeah.
talking about. Well, first I wanted to say that I'm glad Trish is here because we're getting to see that she has like overall become more vocal and decisive. It wasn't just a one arc thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
and
cool.
Polnareff is he's on the other line, and he's talking about like I have a thing that can help you beat Zabosu, and it's a stand arrow.
What? Tell me
And
more, senpai.
tell me more, tell me more. Will you stab me to death? And involving the arrow is fun, and it makes for an exciting lead up, and it's well designed too because has like a special bug design that immediately kind of marks it as special. And after seeing last part what happened to Killer Queen, we're all kind of pumped to see what kind of power ups can come from this.
Yeah. Unlocking the abilities of your stand or whatever. I don't know.
Unlocking your Bankai.
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is also right after is when we catch up with Doppio. He's fine.
Mhm.
His face is not destroyed completely.
None. Not at
No.
all.
He grabs some ice cream to use as a phone, as
Mhm.
one does.
Calls some girls bitches.
His inner Jotaro's coming out.
Yeah.
He wasn't around to do it this part. Oh, Jotaro. Uh, so yeah, the Diavolo notices that Bucciolati's team is heading out, but like he notes that they have like they have willpower in their boat driving or whatever the fuck.
They looked like they know exactly where they're going.
Yeah, and he tells Doppio to get to mainland and also to call in Chocolata and Secco. And
Chocolata.
those
That
two
means
are
chocolate.
yeah, he's my little chocolate boy. Those those two were given something that the other three members of the elite guard didn't get, and that's build up. Like
Yeah.
we're seeing their designs before they arrive, knowing that they're like a last resort, and that even Diavolo thinks that they're scum. Really, kind of gets you on edge for their arrival. You're not just looking out for an enemy. You're looking out for these guys.
Did we even know that the elite guard existed before like they like literally just appeared?
I think they were in the hierarchy that Bruno was talking about right after Polpo died.
Maybe,
But
probably.
but I think the first time they were mentioned was like when Bruno was turning traitor. I think Fugo said like the boss's elite guard are gonna fucking hunt you down, boy.
Okay, that makes sense. I think just at the time I just meant like elite guard as like just in in people in the gang. I didn't read it
Mm.
as like this is a specific group of people. It was just like
Yeah,
yeah, people that like just emphasizing that people are coming after them and they're elite.
yeah. Well,
But
it's
yeah, that
just
makes
that
sense.
they're not really like a team like the Hitman team or Team Bruno. It's like I don't think these guys have ever met except for the ones that work in pairs.
Ah,
Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they go down to the Olive Garden, get the table across from Bruno's, and they have a nice meal. Carne says nothing. I don't think he can talk.
um,
And the other two pairs are just kind of making out.
yeah, of course, as
That's
one
fair.
does.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the third table is
The Hitman
the
team.
Hitman team and
Gatra's
Sorbet and
freaking out.
Gelato are making out.
Gatra's freaking out over a menu typo.
hmm And then Giorno and Mista are making out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Abakio and Bruno are making out.
Yep. As one does.
Yeah. I think this is when we get the backstory to the arrows and stands.
Yes, it is.
Were you expecting that, Dylan? Were you
Uh,
expecting comprehensive? Were you expecting alien virus?
well, I knew that was coming, but I mean, it's not that like
Not that crazy.
crazy because there were the Pillar Men.
There's Mikitaka. He was an alien.
Maybe I don't know, but yeah, um,
Yeah.
it's not, and there's been like ghosts and random shit and vampires, so like, uh, it's
It's it's
it's not
fun.
like yeah, it's not like completely out of left field.
Right. Yeah. Even though this isn't really necessary per se, this whole explanation, it's a nice treat.
I like it.
And it's also good that this being told to us in such a disconnected part as part 5 means that this won't be some kind of like multi-part story baggage. Like,
Yeah,
oh, like if Jotaro learned it, this might like kind of seep into part 6 kind of where it's not really needed, but it's just, guys that are wholly unconnected from all the other parts.
yeah. Well, it's not like a multi-part like an ongoing
Hotline.
plot line, but it's still kind of like built on each other like between the parts because like obviously in part 3 we were introduced to stands. In part 4 we were introduced to the arrow and like learned a little like that there were multiple arrows and stuff and how they generally worked, and now we're getting like the full explanation on the arrow.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah. It's nice.
yeah.
So yeah, we move into what I believe is, I don't know if it's still the longest, but it's definitely one of the longest, especially in the parts 1 through 6 parts. One of the longest battles out there, Green Day and Oasis.
Yeah, that did go on for a while.
Oh no, and I'm sorry, Green Tea and
Oh,
Sanctuary.
I see. You
IT.
you just had to correct yourself.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I starting the battle not in Rome, but in this like little town helps break up the fight, which you kind of need since it's like one of the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So we
also weird how like they just like jump from this town to being in Rome like in the middle of the fight.
well,
It's
they don't
great.
jump there. They get a car. There's like
Yeah.
some time lapse.
I didn't at the time I didn't even realize that like that was even happening. So when they were suddenly in Rome, I was like, "What? When did this happen?"
You didn't realize they were in a car. You
They were in
didn't
a
see the
car, but
car.
I didn't realize like so much time had passed.
Yeah, a little bit of time. They drove.
Yeah.
Chocolata had to find his Peter copter. He parked it outside the town.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. So we start now, and we're not really sure what's going on yet. But eventually, we see some drunk guys. Their limbs start falling off, and they realize that all the other drunks asleep in the town, they're not asleep. They're straight up dead.
Don't drink, kids.
Yeah, don't drink, kids.
It,
Fungus will attack you.
yes. This is this is what the devil's juice does to you. Don't do it.
Jeez. Don't do it, baby.
Don't do
And yeah,
drugs.
we Chocolata and Secco have arrived, and we cut back to Doppio, um, which is how we get Chocolata and Secco's backstories, essentially, mainly Chocolata's, but like having it told in story by Diavolo kind of helps this backstory stand out. That and the fact that he's a fucking psycho.
Psycho.
He's a. I mean,
There's a
after.
lot of psychos.
I mean, in part 5, a lot of villains are kind of like like the Hitman Squad, they were out for revenge, or like Zucchero and Saleh, they were out for status in the gang. The Elite Guard, it was like loyalty to the boss. Like after all of those types of villains, getting this much of a psycho, it's not only is it kind of an odd breath of fresh air, it's like it's legitimately kind of chilling when he's paired with such clear descriptions of what he's done in his past, alongside seeing and hearing about what he'll do now that he's been let loose. Like he's not an assassin like everybody else. He's a fucking natural disaster.
Yeah,
There's no subtlety. There's no like, oh, assassinate. They'll never see us coming. He's just killing everything in the vicinity. And that's pretty wild after such a espionage heavy part.
he's just a mass murderer.
Yeah,
No issues here.
he's having his Joker moment.
Relax, dude. It's normal. He's
You
just a
want
s- he's just a Sigma male.
to,
Just your average Sigma.
dude? This is just how Sigmas act. Better than Alpha.
He's just
um,
being himself, dude.
he's just expressing himself. That's pretty much what Giorno says. He's expressing himself, and himself is garbage.
Yes. Are you being racist against Sigma males? Excuse
Yes.
me?
Yes. uh, you want to know a fun bit of trivia about Green Day, The Stand?
Yes.
Um, in the manga, they never show its bottom half, which means different adaptations have different bottom halves for it.
Oh.
Yeah, in the anime, it has regular legs, it's a regular ass humanoid stand, but in the PlayStation 2 game, its lower half is like a slug body.
Okay. That's
That's
an
a
interesting
that's a
one.
fun fact. Do you not
Slug
enjoy my
body.
fun fact? Come on.
Um, I I appreciate your fun fact, but I don't enjoy it.
uh, so yeah, the gang starts being attacked by the mold, mainly Narancia, because he's Narancia. That's kind of his thing, getting attacked by it. But
By mold.
yeah, and they slowly start figuring out what activates it, what's happening with it. I think the figuring out of how Green Day is activated is just goes much more smoothly here than Grateful Dead, which Grateful Dead and Beach Boy, that arc has a lot of similarities with this arc, and this is kind of part of it is like one's more of a like directly attacking stand, and one is more of like it spreads through the air and attacks
Mm-hmm.
indiscriminately stand. That kind of pairing.
Yeah, and then like we later on get the reveal that like the guy who has the less menacing stand was actually
The more
the
dangerous
more
one.
dangerous of the two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's aspects like Mista is like one of the main fighters in the first half, but kind of drops off halfway.
Mm-hmm.
Bucciolati is like a main fighter in the second half. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
One
it's
of the
cool.
one of the pistols is like a speedwagon kind of commentator. That's another aspect they share.
It is, yeah, and it's also like a really long ass arc.
Yeah, it's a very long arc. There's a lot of vehicle happenings. They're in a car, and then there's a
Helicopter.
Peter copter.
Yep.
Uh, but yeah, as I was saying, figuring out how Green Day is activated, I think it's a lot more smoothly done here than in Grateful Dead. Because in Grateful Dead, if you'll recall, my issue is that like they're making a lot of lucky jumps in logic that just happen to be correct. Here they have a lot of examples to learn from, and Giorno kind of, knowing this fun fact, it kind of makes a little bit more sense since he's all about like plants and animals and shit,
Yeah.
as opposed to I read about this in a magazine once, body temperature.
Body temperature.
S-
Don't question it. Don't think about
Nah,
it beyond a surface level.
nah. You definitely have that much iron in your blood.
Yes.
Yeah. As I said, Mista is a contender in this arc, and I feel like it's been a little bit since Mista's fought. Last one for real was White Album, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mista gets a lot of fights in
Mista
part
gets a
5.
lot of fights, especially near the end. He's like one of the most major players in
Yeah.
the last stretch.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, once you get to the last stretch, the numbers are dwindling, so
Yeah,
the
and he's the
opportunities
main
for other
character,
people. Yeah.
and he's the main character of the epilogue.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
It's a good boy, that Mista.
What a good boy.
Um, they head out. Um, Seko heads out as well, and what was it? Right, yeah.
Where are we?
The fight's starting, and Seko heads
Uh-huh.
down to Pucciati and Mista's level. Yeah, and he starts making
Right.
making the stairs sink. I think this is the most like. There's a few paired villains stand fights in part 5. I think this one is probably my favorite, partially because of the like the synergy between the two stands. You get attacked by
Mm-hmm.
Green Day if you go lower, and Oasis can make you sink.
Yeah, it's pretty
Pretty good synergy.
pretty
Pretty
high
fire.
synergy levels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. I was gonna say something and I forgot it, but we're good.
Was it about the scene with Trish, Notch, and the turtle? Because that's my next note.
No, but I do want to say that it's weird that Trish never got involved, considering she also has a stand that softens things.
Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of like, yeah. I don't think it's necessarily like wasted potential or not in terms of the arc, but I would have liked if like once they get to Rome and like Mista and Giorno split off to fight Chocolate. I wish Trish got involved in the fight against Seko, partly to just give her some more screen time, and partly because I wanted to see like how their stand powers would interact,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
just give Trish some more screen time to
Yeah.
fight.
She doesn't like really like she doesn't
She
really
does
get
this
a chance to do anything after this. Like she fights she's kind of involved in like the final arc,
final arc.
but
Yeah,
that's like everyone. She doesn't really
yeah,
get any chance to like have any like of her own like time
yeah.
showing off
She
beyond
gets little
the one arc.
she gets little moments in the final arc, but it's not.
Yeah.
She's not like a major aspect. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I wanted to mention that scene between Narancia and Trish, talking about like, Trisha's like, I can't believe Bucciarati acted so cold, and Narancia, I forget what he says, but like he says like I don't. I think it says something like I don't know really how girls think about this stuff, but were you wishing he was concerned over you? I
Yeah. I think this is just Narancia just being weird,
stupid.
stupid. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I I'm just not exactly sure the point of this scene, because
Um.
like because Trish doesn't really get too much focus from here on in, and neither does Narancia for that matter. And anything between her and Bucciolati, whatever he's alluding to here, whatever it would have been, it's left unresolved. So I never really understood like what the point of the scene was.
Uh, well, wasn't there a part later where Bucciolati's telling her that like, or was this earlier where he was telling her that like after everything's over she can go live in his house or something?
Well, that was Doppio. He thought that was Trish, but that was Doppio.
Right, but that's still like kind of like
I get like I guess, but like it's it's this is like if that had been Trish, this would have been like the follow through on what this is setting up. But like the fact that it's not kind of still makes it kind of pointless. This is about Trish's opinion of Bucciolati,
yeah.
and that scene doesn't really change Trish's opinion on Bucciolati.
I I think it's kind of just here to point out that uh Trish is not like a bitch, I guess.
Like, yeah,
But I
we
don't
kind
know
of
why
already
it
learned
had to
that.
go in this direction.
I don't know.
Yeah, and yeah, it is weird like coming after like her development.
Yeah,
Though I guess like from the perspective of the other characters like that it's very
yeah,
they're
maybe
still
they're.
not sure what's going
I
on.
guess, yeah,
But still like just to it just seems like a weird inclusion like just
yeah. Like
from the
you
author's
can kind of
perspective.
you can kind of cut the scene. You wouldn't really lose much, I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And
back
like
to the
even if like Araki if he was going for like some sort of romance thing, like I just don't think it just
yeah,
I
doesn't
don't think
fit.
there's enough here. I didn't get any kind of impression that that was an accurate description.
Yeah, me neither. Anyway, back to the fight. Seko has arrived. I think Oasis is a fun stand. It's another. It's the
Yeah.
second of the two suit stands, and it leads to another very physical fight. And we mentioned the synergy. And Seko's design is just kind of fun to look at. I think.
I really appreciate his love for sugar cubes.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. It's very admirable of him.
Yes. Yes.
I too partake in sugar cubes.
I yeah. Um. So yeah, they're heading to get a car, and it looks like they're gonna get one, but Mista keeps fucking shooting himself accidentally.
So,
Seko is Seko's very good at deflecting those bullets, and eventually gets to the point where Bucciolati like leads Seko away, dives over a cliff so he can get a hit on Seko because he thinks the mold's gonna kill him, but it doesn't. Gets a nice little stand rush down on him, and gets yeah, that's how they're able to escape the village and get on their way to Rome. Seko has a fun little meta conversation with Chocolata over the phone, wondering if Notorious B.I.G. would be affected by the mold.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just here to like bring
it's
the,
it's the lead in to
yeah,
like
the
us
reveal with
asking
Bucciolati and everything.
right because the biggest mystery concerning Bucciolati's condition, which is the mold not growing on him there, rightfully leads straight into the explanation. Unlike
Mm-hmm.
something like Seven Deadly Sins, they'll just like ignore it for another 100 chapters.
Naturally.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
it is just weird to like see them like mention another villain from a previous arc out of nowhere. Like feel like that makes it pretty obvious that like this is leading into something.
Mm.
just because something like that doesn't normally happen.
And it do. Once they're in the car, Bucciolati reveals to Giorno that he is dead. But
Oh my god, I
yeah,
had no idea.
yeah. And the explanation of why he's still bopping around doing all this stuff, I think it do make sense. He's not back permanently. It's just a combination of Bucciolati's indomitable will and Giorno's life-giving power. He hasn't brought him back to life. He essentially turned Bucciolati into a zombie.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. Were you expecting one of the heroes to be a zombie this part when you started it?
Um, well,
Tell him, maybe.
no.
Yeah, okay.
That
Okay.
we've seen zombies,
Oh,
and
yeah.
yeah.
Remember when this show was about vampires?
Yeah, that was a good times, good times.
Good times, good
Good
times,
times.
good times.
These are better times though.
Yeah.
Good times, good times.
Good times, good times, good times. Man falling. Man
Man,
falls through the
Bucciolati's
window.
just driving with like half of his hand like completely
Gouged out.
just
His
yeah.
bones showing.
Yeah. How is he moving his pinky finger? What? How does that work?
Willpower.
Okay,
Willpower.
yeah. He's using his stand to move it. That's what's happening. Maybe I don't know.
He, he's using his stinky fingies.
Yes.
So yeah, after that little conversation, a man drops through the windshield. They gotta abandon the car. Chocolat and Secco follow them in a helicopter, and now Green Day is spreading all over Rome.
Yeah.
It
It's taking
part
over
six,
the city.
part six will end up topping it, but until part six, this is the most like directly widespread attacking I think we've
Mm-hmm.
seen in the series.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
Well,
I
until like uh doesn't doesn't Requiem, it's like implied that that affected the whole world or something, right?
not the whole world, just
I thought
like
that
the
okay.
no, because if it was the whole world, like this happened, because remember Polnareff said it happened a while back. If that had happened, you'd think you would have
Oh.
heard about that, right? That
Yeah.
hey, remember that day everybody randomly fell asleep?
Yeah, everybody randomly fell asleep and then woke up in someone else's body. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That was weird, wasn't it?
things just happen.
Hmm.
Yeah. And anyway, like I mentioned before, I enjoy the Jorno's mentioning of like how stands are like stands are like your personality or something. He's talking about like stands are reflections of your inner talents, and it's like justification for Giorno to immediately clock Chocolate as pure evil. And that I want to segue into my 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 hot take. He feels like a way better evil Giorno than Babyface.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Uh Babyface was baby.
Chocolate is the big man.
Mm,
Even their backstories kind of mirror each other
big Sigma boy.
because like they're both described as people who would watch other people learning their behaviors and such. But
Mhm.
Giorno was like an outcast and like an abused child who wound up growing into a good person, while Chocolate was like praised by the people in his life. He got praised by the city and stuff, despite being secretly evil. It's like a cool mirrored thing,
Yeah.
and and we still have the power of mirroring where with widespread death versus like directly giving life. It's nice.
Is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I love how Seko just like dives into the pavement.
Yeah.
I just
Chocolate is even Chocolate is like you. Okay, Seko is landed, or should I say, splashed down.
I just imagine one day his stand stops working and he
Okay.
dives down. he, he just
Okay.
splats onto the pavement.
Here's a question for you. Normal people can't see stands. What are regular people seeing Seko? Is he wearing anything under that? Or do people just see a naked man swimming in the ground?
He just dives down and disappears. People are like,
Is that a naked man?
People are just like, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that.
Today is not a good day for this. um. So yeah, the team. Well, before they split up, first we get Mista's biggest contribution and our confirmation that he and Jorna are totally boyfriends, where they combine stand powers and cuddle up, and are able to shoot a tree onto a building that grabs onto Chocolata's helicopter, Peter Copter. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So they
nice.
split up. Chocolata is going to take on Seko, while Giorno and Mista take on Chocolata. Oops, sorry, just Giorno. Mista's down.
Don't worry, he good. He'll be
He's
back
good.
up soon.
He's still got one bullet left. Still got one pistol. And I mentioned it before, but like, I'm glad that the last time that we're getting a singular pistol in the Speedwagon role, it's number 5, because he's got the most distinct personality, to the point where him stepping up like this to help Giorno save the day almost feels like the completion of a character arc. Does it not?
Best character, Sex Pistols
Number
5.
Number 5. Grazie. Number 5.
What a good boy.
He's a good little boy. So yeah, the pistols are taken out, except 5. 5's given a spare bullet to help Giorno with, and Giorno heads up the tree into the copter. And up there, he can't seem to find Chocolata. But eventually, he do get attacked, and he counters. And then we see Chocolata cut himself into pieces.
That was very ridiculous.
It's so horrifying, but it's so cool, especially in the anime. The way he like flails around, his spine is like wiggling like a tail. It's wild, but I love it.
What the fuck? This is like some like Pillarman Dio shit.
Yeah.
Like what
so
the
fun.
fuck?
It's so wild. I love
I
it.
don't.
It's so cool.
I don't think so. It is definitely not cool.
Yeah. Even though it's not moving anymore, the tight spaces of the helicopter combined with the threat of the mold if Giorno falls makes this another great fight setting.
Yeah, he could like fall out of the helicopter at any moment.
Yeah. The way Chocolat is taking advantage of the tight spaces by chopping himself into bits.
Don't remind me.
I'm going to remind you. I'm going to text you a picture every day of cut up Chocolata.
Yes, please.
So yeah, Giorno gets knocked out of the plane, but number 5 saves him by shooting a bullet through his hand, and he makes a tree to catch himself. Chocolata just leans the helicopter forward to make it get attacked by the mold and die, but it turns back into a bullet after Giorno kicks up a piece, and the helicopter blades knock it back through Chocolata's head. Very luckily. I have no idea how Giorno calculated that shit on the fly as he was falling.
By being Giorno,
That's very true.
he is main character.
The Chocolate is dead, except not. After making the world's most stealthy phone call, I guess, Giorno realizes Chocolate's probably faking it. And he is. But he's used that time of faking it to take Mista and the turtle hostage. But Giorno has an answer for that. He turned the bullet. As the bullet was still a piece of a branch, he imbued it with life again, so that after it turned back into a bullet and went into Chocolate's head, it turns into a beetle that eats out his head.
Yeah.
That's 5 million IQ right there.
Good one.
Good one.
Journey boy.
Journey. Oh, Journey boy.
Good one.
And then
good one.
That's how we lead into the famous, the legendary, the 7-page Muda.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Giorno really hated this guy.
He really fucking hated this dude.
Yeah.
You want to know a fun fact about it?
Fun fact, tell me now, please.
Fun fact, tell you now. 2 of these pages weren't in the original Shonen Dump.
True. It is a dump.
Excuse me. The original Shonen Jump publication. The double page spread in these 7 pages was added in the volume.
Nice.
And it's also in the anime they actually move it up a bit. They put it before the re. Don't you remember how Dio did that?
No, explain, Mike, please. I've never heard this before.
I already told you, you stupid.
I love how he just like gets flung over into a trash compactor because he's trash.
Yeah, I like that.
It's good.
This is a good time. And so yeah, we catch up with Bucciolati and Secco. Secco gets somehow Chocolata made two phone calls during that whole ordeal. I don't know why.
He likes to keep in contact with his boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's the clingy boyfriend.
I mean, yeah, he tells Secco that he loves him.
Yes.
And then Secco reveals that he is not the beta boy of Chocolata's dreams. He is a fellow Sigma male.
No, he's actually an alpha.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. I don't know, maybe.
I'm not really sure why Secco's personality changes so suddenly. I guess maybe Araki found it hard to write for Secco as a brainless boy toy without Chocolata to bounce off of. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
I'm guessing like the character reason is like, you know, he only respected Chocolata because he perceived him to be more powerful than himself.
Well, yeah, that's like the in-character explanation.
Yeah.
But like from a writing perspective, I wonder.
It's weird.
I wonder the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Bucciolati versus Secco. It's pretty entertaining, especially at the start. Mainly for how these characters both move. You know, Bucciolati, he's always been pretty acrobatic as himself. I remember when he kicked Pesci in the face. And
what a good
Secco's like a dangled monkey flipping around.
Yeah, he's just like flying around, doing his thing,
I guess
diving into pavements.
suit stands are always very fun fights. The both times they happened.
Yes.
Uh, and yeah, they start heading towards the Coliseum by going underground.
This was pretty
Whoa,
cool. Like,
this was.
they both have, like, because Bucciolati just makes a zipper in the ground and is, like, running through the ground, the void within the ground, or something. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how this works, but sure. And then, uh, Seko's just literally in the ground. He's just swimming.
Yeah, he's swimming in the mud.
Swimmy boy. Man, this guy's
Yeah.
got quite a stroke.
Yeah.
He outruns Bucciolati while
Yeah.
swimming.
He, he's a dang old Olympic swimmer.
What a guy.
What a little man's.
If only he
If only he had
he
been a
put his
good boy.
if he was a good boy and put his talents to good use, and won won gold for Italy in the Olympics.
Golden medal in land swimming.
Yes, he could have
He,
done it,
he
but
defeated
no.
Senor. He defeated Senor Pink representing Spain. That's a One Piece joke. You'll get that one day. You'll understand that, baby man.
But no, he had to be a serial killer.
Yeah, to be evil. It was the sugar cubes. They tempted him.
That's great.
Take me not into the sweet temptation.
It was the sugar cubes.
Tempted him. So yeah,
I wonder what's in those sugar cubes aside from sugar.
That's some other white
Caffeine.
powder. Some other white powder.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hi, Polnareff. He's back.
What? When was this?
This
Oh,
is
he's just staring with his binoculars.
He's got his binoculars.
Yeah.
And he's got his little laptop.
He's like, man, is that a stand fight? I haven't seen one of those in a while.
I haven't seen a lot of things in a while. One of my eyes is gouged. But I've got this funky translucent eye patch. Isn't that cool?
He's like, man, those guys are very clearly stand users.
Maybe I should roll out of here.
Autobots roll out.
Polnareff rolling out. Man, I sure am on a roll. Oh, you gotta make your own fun these days.
Polnareff just transforms into a car.
That's the car Seko drops in. Bucciolati breaks the tires of. First to zero drums. No, Bucciolati, it's me, your laptop friend. Beep beep. So yeah. Seko is defeated by having his eardrums burst, and then he swims to the top and gets his leg ran over.
You don't need a leg when I don't know.
When you're swimming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But Seko decides to take a hostage, and it's fucking Doppio.
Don't worry, he'll be good.
Could you tell right away this was Doppio? Even in the colored manga, it's hard to tell at first. He's wearing a hat.
Where? I'm just trying to get to that part because I don't remember exactly.
Yeah. Seko takes Doppio hostage, and Bruno saving him, of all people, is just such a twist of the knife. I love it.
Wow, I was really behind.
You little stupid.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, well, he's pink.
Yeah, but it,
He stands out a lot. Like
it'd be
it's like
hard
a
to tell in the black and white.
yeah. Oh yeah, it was like when we first got introduced to Doppio, it was like very obvious that he was like the boss or something, just because like he has a very distinctive shade of uh uh very distinctive hair color, which is the
I wouldn't
same
say
as
it was.
Trish's.
I mean, I
You
mean,
you're not allowed to have an opinion, Mike. You can't say the
can't tell in
colors.
the black and white.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like from my perspective, I was like, wow, it's the boss.
He's the little Twinkie boy.
Um, I like how Seko just gets dumped in the trash compactor because he's trash,
Yeah,
just like
it's
Chocolata.
it's the same trash thing in the anime.
Yeah,
It, like he even says
you can see him.
chocolata. Literally.
Wait, hmm. I it's kind of sad that that you don't actually see them being compacted.
Yeah, that would have been kind of funny.
Yeah. It's also funny. He's like chocolata.
Yeah,
Just
chocolata.
sees his dead body there. He's like, oh shit,
Ah,
and dies.
yeah.
The end.
So, yeah, Doppio is Bruno is he's in a bad way here. He's kind of almost out of time, and
Yeah, he's gotten so fucked up, and because he's dead, he can't heal or anything.
yeah, and he's sort of losing his senses too. He
Yeah,
burst his own eardrums. Can't see.
he used too. Yeah, he just like used too much of his spirit energy, I guess. So like
Yeah,
his hold on his body is growing weaker.
yeah. Essentially, we get some very tense scenes of Doppio just trying to like, yeah, trying to like help Bucciolati, quote unquote, because he's trying to figure out what he's doing here. Um, I think the best part is when they're trying to hide from being noticed by Mista, and that's Doppio just starts going, and him snapping at Diavolo will always be funny to me. He keeps doing it until he just grabs the phone. And he's just like, "Shut the fuck up! He's gonna find out."
Oh my god.
What are you doing?
This part is great.
It is.
Bruno's just like, what the fuck is going on?
This is this kid. Um,
I wasn't sure, like, until this moment, I wasn't sure, like, whether Doppio is, like, just hearing the boss's voice in his head or if he's, like, saying it out loud. But,
I think he's saying it out loud.
no, he's hearing it in his head because, it would have
Oh,
been very,
Diavolo's dialogue.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
would have been very obvious to, Bucciolati
Bucciolati, yeah. Yeah,
if he
he's
heard
just
it. Yeah.
that's in his head. And this is when we get the explanation of why Bruno can still like hear people and see people and stuff, and it's that he's seeing their spirit, and then Diavolo can disguise his spirit as Trish's.
I don't
It's
think he's purposely disguising it.
no,
It's
he
just
is. He
similar.
says like, "I've given you a bit of my soul, Doppio, so that he'll think it's Trish's."
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's kind of out of nowhere, but the whole soul thing is important to the last arc, so I'll give it a pass.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right, whatever. Um, I think this is around the time we're getting some of Diavolo's past here.
Yeah. Well, we
The
get the
bit
whole
that
thing here,
well,
I
the bit
think.
that was moved back in the anime, I think.
Is there a later one?
Yeah, because when he was talking about like, oh, I was in Egypt on a dig and I found these
Oh,
arrows.
yeah, that was later.
But the
Okay.
first one about like the circumstances of his birth and stuff, it was that comes in here, and I really like it. I think the strange aspects of his birth and his actions overall and his past do well as painting him as this antichrist figure that to oppose Giorno's Jesus imagery.
Yeah. It's all cools.
Because he's straight up like he was just born like without
He
it was like it's like an immaculate birth, but
Yeah,
he's like
that
the
was it.
devil.
Naturally.
Yeah,
Kind of similar to how Giorno's is some sort of special birth, being
yeah.
the son of three people, I guess.
Two of which were men from Victorian London.
Yes.
Yeah.
One
Um.
of one of which was a vampire,
Yeah.
naturally.
Giorno is a vampire.
Man, I it's so weird that was never mentioned.
I mean, you can't really pass that shit on in this universe. Vampire is like a brain thing. But I mean, technically,
Maybe?
his
I
dad,
don't know.
his,
Well, like, yeah, it's weird. It's weird because uh, we're let's just not get into the specifics of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Cool.
neat little backstory. Um, moving on from there, Doppio's bringing Bucciolati into the Coliseum, and this is the bit you were talking about earlier, Bruno, trying to make sure Trish can live peacefully even as he's re-dying.
Mm-hmm.
It's so heartwarming, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And then Polnareff, they finally get closer to Polnareff, but
Polnareff respects your pronouns.
he does. He's like, oh wow, I
Isn't
I'm.
Trish a girl? Isn't Trish a girl's name? You got a problem with me being a girl?
He's like,
I
oh,
guess I guess not.
well, I mean, I am a stand user, so
It's 2001. I should get with the times.
I should really like stop trying to guess people's genders because I'm like wrong 90% of the time,
I'm bad at this. Sure.
considering all my
Uh,
friends are stand users.
yeah.
Um,
I like how careful Polnareff is. I feel like that shows a lot of like the growth and
yeah,
maturity
he's
he's gone through.
become the mentor.
Yeah, essentially. That is essentially his role in the
That's
last
yeah,
stretch of the
that's the thing
story.
with Polnareff is like in this section of the story, he's literally just like the stoic like uh mentor character. His like entire personality has like just disappeared.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, considering the circumstances, the fact that he's become more serious is like understandable. But I feel like he's still got bits of his old personality coming through. Like when he tells Trish, quote unquote, to turn around, and he's got the little speech bubble below where he's saying like, "Do it slowly, as if you were lifting up your skirt." Like that's some
Okay, yeah.
classic Polnareff peeking out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
But I do get where you're saying he's become so serious that it almost like doesn't feel like Polnareff
It's
at
weird
times.
because Polnareff is just not a serious guy.
It can be serious,
Yeah.
but like we're so used to the happy-go-lucky young
Pol-
Polnareff.
Polnareff was like um the not serious Joe Bro in part
He was
3.
like, yeah, he
He
was like
was like the comic relief kind of like
yeah, that
dopey
the
kind of
heads
guy.
headstrong kind. He was like their Narancia
Yeah,
essentially, or I
basically.
guess I should say Narancia is the Polnareff of the group.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has. It is kind of like there are if this was a different character, like you wouldn't be saying like, oh, he's acting just like Polnareff.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see little bits of the old Polnareff coming out here and there.
Also, when he first showed up, and he was like missing his legs and an eye and stuff, I was like, "Am I misremembering part 3?"
Now,
uh, but we find out here that he fought Diavolo
in the
a while
past,
back, and was
lost
very
bad,
very badly wounded.
didn't go well for the boy.
Also, him and Jotaro look so weird.
Yeah, they do look weird in the Par 5 art
Oh
style.
my god, it's so weird. Mostly Jotaro. Oh yeah, there
Yeah,
was also well, a while back, not in this section that we read, but back when we saw the picture of the Stardust Crusader
right.
picture. Yeah, and they all looked fucking weird as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What happened to your Lego shoulders?
weird,
Weird,
weird
weird,
looking
weird.
dudes.
But yeah, this is also when we get the backstory of the arrowheads. Diavolo just kind of dug them up in Egypt, and he sold most of them to Enya.
He kept one for himself though.
Yeah, that was Pulpo's.
Yeah, that makes me
Okay.
think like, well, there were 5, right? And then he
I
sold 4
I
to
forget.
Enya.
It's 5 or 6. I know there's one of them.
Yeah.
One of them was given to Yoshihiro
Yeah, yeah.
Yoshikage's
There are
father.
6.
What one was Keicho Nijimura's. One was given to Pulpo. This one is the stand arrow. I know another shows up in a flashback of part 6, so we can kind of assume where it is in the present day.
Okay.
I, for,
That's all of them, right? Or is there another one?
I forget where the 6th one is.
1,
I'm gonna Google.
3,
I'm gonna look it
4,
up.
5. Oh, that's 5. Yeah. So,
I'm gonna Google it.
hmm.
Yeah, and I like that Stand Cry has its own Jojo wiki thing. Keep talking
Yeah.
about what's happening in the manga while I Google things.
Oh, Polnareff gets his ass whooped in the
Yeah,
past, naturally.
yeah.
Uh, what happens next?
Uh, Diavolo sploops out of existence, and then he's
He's
there.
gone,
He's
but
gone,
then
and
he's
then he's
there.
there.
Oh yeah, Polnareff sees Doppio turn into Diavolo, and he's like, "What the frickin' what?
What the what?
What the fuck just happened?"
Lois? Diavolo really needs to change his style. This man's closing in on 40 and he's running around in a mesh shirt. Not even
What
a
the?
mesh shirt, like
It's
a fishnet shirt.
not even a fishnet shirt. Like that's just his skin. This
That's
is a
not his.
part of his
He's got
body,
like
man.
no, it's not. He's got like little tuxedo tails
Oh
of
wait,
more
then
fishnet
what the fuck?
material.
This is so weird. What a strange fellow. How very interesting.
A little fart smello. I found. This is where the arrows are. One arrow was kept by Diavolo. That was Pulpo's, and that
Mhm.
broke. One was Keicho Nijimura's, and that was recovered by the Speedwagon Foundation.
Mhm.
If I had to guess, that was the chunk that Jolene had
Yeah,
in her
that's what I
little
figured.
thing in part 6. Uh, Yoshikage Kira's father, he had one, and that blew up with him, probably. And there's this one with the special little thingy, and the whereabouts of the last 2 are unknown, but at least one of them, I think we know where it is because we see it in a flashback in part 6.
Hmm.
I don't know
That's
what the last one
that's
is.
interesting that never gets uh they never explain that.
It's odd.
Hmm. Well then.
Oh well. Uh, oh yeah, so Diavolo is revealed, and but Polnareff can't fight anymore really, but he does have a way of seeing when time is skipped. He makes his blood drip, and when suddenly there's more drops, time is skipped, and he uses that to get the jump on Diavolo and gash up his dang arm.
Damn. What a
Pretty
fucking Chad Polnareff over here.
Shadasaurus Rex over here.
Damn.
Yeah,
Big
but
Dick Polnareff.
Diavolo gets him back by blinding him with his own blood. That's crazy. But then,
So good.
Then we see that Arrow has gone into Silver Chariot, and he's freaking melting.
Wouldn't you melt if an
Yeah,
arrow touched you?
probably.
Jeez.
After having the scene where Kira is granted bites the dust, after having it like cut away from that, I'm glad we're actually like I'm glad we're seeing what's happening to Chariot after it's been stabbed. It looks so
Yeah.
like wild, and it's definitely building hype.
Yeah, that's what happened with Bites the Dust, right? Like that he got stabbed by the arrow? Because I
It
don't
was
remember like
Bites the dust like stabbed Kira a second time. This is that it's stabbing the stand.
oh, okay, so it's like different, but it's kind of like this similar. Okay.
Yeah. That's the thing about this whole situation. I'm still unclear on whether or not this particular arrow, is inherently special or not.
I wouldn't think so.
I
Because
you wouldn't.
remember they're all made of the same material. I don't
They're
think
all
there would be any difference between them.
That makes sense, but like, there's also the fact that this is the only instance of a requiem stand, and this is the only arrowhead that looks different.
Does it look different?
Yeah, it's got that little bug thing on it.
The other ones didn't?
No, no.
Huh.
This is the only arrowhead that looks different, and it's the only one that does this. So it's kind of, I don't know. Is it kept purposely vague, or is it just vague because we didn't get an answer?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. But
Well, yeah.
yeah.
I would like to think that like they're all the same just because like this isn't like a technology that was developed by people like and they wouldn't like understand the significance of like of that. It's just like they found this material in
yeah,
a meteorite and just made it into arbitrary amounts of arrows.
yeah.
Like none of this was like
It's probably It
yeah,
probably is the same, and like the fact that it looks
it's just a coincidence.
different is
It's just designed for part
yeah,
5 to be cool.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, Polnareff gets donutted.
He good though. He good. Good boy.
And Diavolo gets the arrow. All seems lost, but then a shadowy figure appeareth among the Colosseum.
It's
It's Chariot.
Dio.
Fuck! I'm here to see my son.
He is back, and it's daytime.
It's parent-teacher conference time. It's not daytime though. It's nighttime. Chariot
Oh
Requiem.
yeah, I guess it is.
The design is simple, but it still looks really good. And just its arrival and the sheer mystery behind it. It's an instant hook, really. way and the way it knocks everybody out, including the big bad, is that's just crazy cool, and it's a nice reset on
Yeah.
circumstances.
Yeah, because shit has progressed so far. Like, it's hard to we needed this kind of reset.
Yeah, we really did. Yeah,
Just because this whole final section of the story, everything since they arrived in that port town up until
it's all
the
been
end, it's all one string of events.
yeah. We needed this kind of pause
Mm-hmm.
on the events that we could just kind of I would say get our bearings, but it's hard to get your bearings in this situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody goes to sleep in the general vicinity of the Coliseum, and in the morning they awaken. But it's not what you think it is. The bodies have switched. It's Freaky Friday, baby.
What are you
Whoa.
telling me? Mista has boobs?
He always had boobs.
Ooh. Ooh.
What was your reaction to this?
Giorno likes. Yeah.
I'm having these weird feelings for Mista. I'm no longer sexually attracted to him in that woman's body.
So true.
That's
Man,
in character.
I've never felt this way before. About Mista specifically.
What was your reaction to all this body swapping shenaniganry?
Um, yeah, it's body swapping shenaniganry.
Did you like Mista tucking his hand down there? Her hand?
Oh,
Her hand? I
uh, maybe.
here's I have some thoughts about all this. So here's my thoughts on the whole body swapping plot. It's I get that it's important for a few reasons. One, it gives Diavolo a place to hide, essentially. It gets rid of Doppio and spares him of Diavolo's fate, which is probably a good thing. It gives Bucciolati a usable body for the last stretch and lets him make the sacrifice play on his own terms. It gives Polnareff a chance to live too.
As Turtle,
Yeah, as a turtle.
who
And
can
it also
somehow talk.
yeah, it's just something he learned in the interim.
Yeah.
And it also leads to a lot of funny moments, especially between Trish and Mista. But even after all of that, it almost feels tacked on to me.
Kind
And
of, yeah.
I think part of that is Giorno and Narancia, because we spend a few chapters kind of getting our bearings and learning the situation, and it takes 3 or 4 chapters for us to really get a move on. And I think, and after that, before we get a move on, but after a lot of that setup, is Giorno and Narancia, they essentially switch back pretty much for the reason that so that the hero can be in his own body for the finale. Mista and I feel especially Trish do a good amount in this arc. But
Yeah.
without their normal bodies, it can feel kind of lessened.
Really?
And I don't know, a bit. Maybe if those two had been able to switch back somehow, I'd like it more. But then it might feel even more tacked on if almost everyone important had switched back almost immediately.
Yeah, probably. I don't think the body swapping thing is normally body swapping tropes are just there so the the guy can be in a woman's body and touch boobs for some because that's funny, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's a
Apparently.
common joke.
Yeah.
That's a common joke.
But I mean here that's I feel like well, that kind of happens, but that's like,
We get through it quickly.
yeah, that it's not here for that. So
It's here. It's not here to be sexy. It's here for the funny.
no, um,
It's a little sexy.
I mean, I'm saying like the body swapping thing in general, like, is like
Yeah.
not um it doesn't exist solely for horny teenagers. Okay, that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Right. I get
But yeah,
you.
it's
Oh yeah.
better than most, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Oh, there's another aspect to this all. Apparently, stands are powered up in this with by Requiem's powers. But
Apparently,
yeah, as far as I remember, it doesn't really play any big role in the events.
yeah, we just kind of see Aerosmith goes fast, and then okay, you you could have just
It, there's so little there's so little direct stand fighting for most of this
yeah,
arc, and B, because all stands are powered up equally, they're
it
still on the same
yeah,
level. It's not like, oh, gold experience powered up, so now I can cross fists with King Crimson. It's
yeah.
like, no, they both increased equally, so gold experience is still as weak as weaker to King Crimson as it's always been. It's just that they're both generally
Yeah.
stronger, I guess.
Like, if it wasn't explained that stands were powered up, I wouldn't have noticed at all.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, they're figuring things out. Polnareff is revealed to be alive. He's swapped with the turtle. Uh,
The turtle who can speak.
yeah, and he's just kind of explaining things to everybody, getting them all up to speed, and we spend a good number of chapters just kind of being explained at.
You know what's weird is that
What's that?
I'm pretty sure that at the end of all this, the turtle survived, even though the turtle was in Polnareff's body, which died. But when Bruno, when Doppio was in Bruno's body and Bruno's body died, Doppio died.
Yeah, I don't really get it.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Oh yeah, and the, I think this is when they shoot Doppio. Is this that when that happens?
Yeah, they notice that uh Bucciolati's about to get up, and they know they know that Diavolo is in his body. So Mista has like some reservations about shooting Bucciolati because he doesn't want him to die, but uh Giorno knows that Bucciolati's gonna die anyways, so he just
Right.
tells him to do it.
Don't be a pussy.
Don't pussy out. You can do this.
Yeah. Oh, and this is also around the time Diavolo's body returns to the stadium. But as it turns out, that's where Bucciolati ended up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's all good.
Despite my reservations about the body swapping, having the big bad on the main team just on a design basis, that's fun.
Just visually, yeah, it's really cool.
I like that.
In the anime, do they speak with their normal voices or the body voices?
Body voices, and that's very fun.
That is really fun.
Because you have Mista like talking like with the girly Trish voice.
Yeah. Nice.
That's very fun.
That's got to be so jarring.
It is. It's fun. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool hearing Diavolo's voice speaking so righteously as Bucciolati.
What about Polnareff?
Oh no, he's still got a Polnareff voice. He's not just spoken like
imagine it's just turtle noises, but like subtitles underneath, and everybody understands it perfectly.
Old experience gave life to the flies to make subtitles.
uh, it just says like the top of the screen just says turtle noises, and the bottom screen is the actual subtitles.
I understand, Turtle Ref.
That's good.
Where were? Oh yeah, they shoot Uccelati's body, and Narancia decides this is the best time to start talking about how awesome it is that they won, and how he's gonna go home and go to school and eat pizza, and how it's just so swell to be alive.
Yeah, they did it.
Shut the fuck
They
up,
killed the
Narancia.
boss.
Narancia, shut the fuck up. Did you know he was gonna die as soon as he started talking about this stuff?
I already knew he was gonna die, but yeah, this was this was a huge death flag.
I mean, this is the biggest death flag you could probably have, I
Yeah.
think. Just talking about how much stuff you're gonna do now that you've won and are alive.
Yes, man, I'm so glad to be alive.
Pretty much. They expanded this a little bit in the anime.
Isn't life great?
Yeah, they expanded it so that he's saying he wants to meet up with Fugo again too.
Ah,
And
that's nice.
as they leave Narancia's body in a little bit, we have a little cutaway to Fugo walking down the street outside the Olive Garden, looking to the sky. He senses that dumbass passed away.
It's like, damn.
Yeah,
I was gonna tap that.
that little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
So suddenly time skips again, and they don't know how did that happen? Diavola didn't even move, but he did. Narancia, well, Giorno body Narancia is like impaled straight up.
No.
Narancia's death, while it's sad, it almost feels pointless.
Kind of. It was really just really sudden, honestly.
Yeah, Abacchio's and Bruno's deaths, they carried weight. They led into
Yeah.
something big. They were trying to present a message to the audience. Narancia's more of a tragedy, and that's the point of it. The point of it is that it's a meaningless death. But still, you can not. Well, first of all, you can. We're not getting like his death scene like we did with Abacchio and Bruno. That's one part of it. But like I said, it's a tragedy. We're more focusing on the feelings of the other characters. Not like kind of see the meta reasoning of getting Giorno back into his body and being like the reason we find out Diavolo is hiding among the main cast. And it's like Narancia died for that. Narancia died just for the story, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get that it's supposed to be a tragedy, where it's supposed to be this sudden, meaningless death. I mean, but we already hate Diavolo. We could have. It doesn't essentially. It doesn't feel necessary. I guess it's getting him out of the way. It's not wrapping up an arc for him. It's just kind of getting him out of the way and getting certain story beats over the hump, so to speak.
Hmm. The one thing that I really do like about Narancia's death, um, like you said, I mean, it's just like it's mostly about how the characters react to it and how they feel about it.
Yeah. And they're good reactions. I don't want to
Yeah.
undersell that.
I really like the part where as they're moving on, Giorno hides Narancia's body in the weeds like he did in his backstory with that one gangster guy.
Yeah, and he's like, "We're gonna take you home, Narancia."
Yeah,
That's
that was
really
good.
sweet. Really sweet. And there's another death to discuss too, Dothio's.
Yeah. He
Even though
sad death.
he's a
Hmm.
yeah, it's even though he's a bad guy, it's really kind of sad. Talking about how he's lonely, he wants the boss to call him one last time. Oh man.
Yep.
Hey, I'm dying, and this is crazy. But here's my number. Call me boss, baby. What if Diavolo was the boss, baby?
What if
Better or worse? Wrong answer. The answer is
better?
better. Better.
Better question mark? I don't know.
No question mark. It's just better.
Question mark? Okay. I'll accept that.
So yeah, they're heading out. They're chasing down that slowly walking, meandering shadow man.
Yeah. They're about to head out.
Heading out. And they can't attack it directly because their stands come back and attack themselves. That's another power of Chariot Requiem.
What a interesting power set.
Stands only have one power. There must be 5 users.
Yes. 5 users.
So yeah, it's the rest of this. This is all kind of like one big arc, but there's a few kind of mini arcs set up in here. The longest one being from the time they wake up until a little later on. It's the Requiem plays quietly, and the rest of that arc of itself is like just kind of playing around with Chariot Requiem and trying to figure out, okay, we can't get the arrow like that. If we take the arrow like this, he does that. If we do this, he does that. Just trying to figure that kind of stuff out, while also like eventually it switches to trying to figure out where Diavolo is in their bodies, because they figure when Mista's revolver breaks, that Giorno figures out that like it was broken on purpose, and like I think another time skip might have happened. They figure out Diavolo's among them, but they can't pinpoint it really.
Yeah. They don't know who it could be.
Oh yeah, and there's also some body horror thrown in.
Which one? I don't remember.
Their Polnareff grows a second head.
Oh yeah, that was good. Good times.
It's a little random, but I still like it. This whole situation where it's like calling this other dimension that the souls are swapping with just as something else, and how alien it all looks, and connecting it to music too by saying that the Requiem has ended and the main piece is beginning. It just adds this like mysterious gravitas to it all. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's
But it's also kind of pointless.
Yeah,
it's a little pointless.
Oh yeah, this is the part where somewhere in here is the part that I was talking about where it's implied that it's like uh happening all over the world, or that's what I thought. Let me try to find it.
I don't know if it's happening all over the world, but I think it's like the idea is that it could spread.
Yeah, that's
all over the
probably what it is.
I think my favorite part is that they keep describing Chariot Requiem as like going berserk, like its powers are going berserk, and then you look at the stand itself, and all it's doing is slowly walking away and not doing anything.
Yeah.
He'll kill us all! Walk, walk, walk.
I forget, was it explained like where it was walking?
No, it's just Polnareff explains that it's like not aimless, but just away from it all, away from Diavolo. Maybe it's just walking away from Diavolo, but it's just generally walking away from the Colosseum.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, apparently Diavolo he learns the secret of the Requiem and how to obtain the arrow.
Right.
And so his plan is destroyed by Giorno being like,
Well,
"Stop.
yeah. Um,
Stop right
First,
there."
I wanted to mention Polnareff earlier figured out that it's not as simple as just like a regular ass personality disorder. It's legitimately two souls in one body. Diavolo and Dopey are like
Yeah,
two different souls.
that was weird.
That I like it. It adds another notch on his Antichrist
Yeah.
checklist. Same with being able to like hide amongst the cast. I,
Yeah.
I like that Diavolo could feasibly have hidden himself among any of the cast. Because like think about the four people that are there. One is his regular body, one is his daughter's body, one is the body with the soul of his daughter, and the last one is Giorno, who may not act like maybe he can't actually check himself and he just thinks he can. Like there's no obvious answer to this when Giorno says stop. We got to figure out which one of us Diavolo is in.
Mm-hmm. I think I found the line I was talking about. It's like at the start of chapter 141. It says, "The history of life on our planet spans 4.5 billion years, but in just a few hours, it'll all be transformed into something else." So I kind of felt like that implied like all of life on Earth will be
I think the
transformed.
I think the idea is that it will in a
Yeah,
few hours it
eventually.
will but as of now it's
Yeah,
just like a radius around
yeah, probably.
Requiem, just like Rome
Because that would be
stops.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, you'd think people like Jotaro and stuff
Jotaro and the dolphin
would
he's fucking would swap
yeah.
bodies.
This is
Yeah.
amazing. I've always wanted to swim this fast. Finally, my dream has been fulfilled.
Wow.
And it gets switched back, and it's like, damn it, I have a wife and daughter again. Koichi, hold me.
He's like, wow, it's so nice under the ocean.
Josuke and Okuyasu back in Morio Switch. Oi, Josuke! I'm Josuke! Ain't that whack? I can
Yes.
dig it.
And
So yeah,
and
they
Koichi um
Koichi and Nikiko switch.
and Yukiko switch, and Koichi's like, I've always wanted to bottom.
I've always wanted to be inside my suitcase. Yeah, she's still in there. It's only been a week. This
No,
is quite the
actually,
running joke.
Koichi's in Disneyland at this time. I forgot.
Oh yeah, they're on the. Man, that was a crazy roller coaster. I feel like I'm taller now. I feel like I have boobs now.
Wow.
Wait. So yeah, they're figuring out who's in there, and eventually they find out Diavolo's in Misa's body, hanging out with Trish's soul, and he cuts off Giorno's dang arm.
Yes.
Wow.
The arm. Man, how many times is Giorno gonna lose an arm?
As many times as it needs.
I feel like that's
This has to have
running
happened like
trend.
at least a handful of times, probably close to 10.
Probably.
He's just numb to it now. He never reacts.
Yeah, he's just like, oh,
You'd think he'd
my
be
arm
like,
again.
ouch.
He's just reacting like Jotaro, like, huh, guess that hurt.
Oh, that happened. So yeah, as soon as Trish brings out Spice Girl, King Crimson grabs her, and that somehow lets him like puppeteer Misa's. But I guess that just lets him like become the dominant soul in that body by controlling Trisha's stand, which is her soul.
I thought of it as he was just puppeteering the stand, which then puppeteered the body.
Something was he just like grabbing her legs and making like
Yeah,
back forth back?
that's what I thought. Like
I,
literally.
kind of funny to see.
Yeah. He just grows extra limbs.
Yeah. King Crimson octopus form.
I believe it.
Yeah. So yeah, Diavolo's running after Requiem because he's figured out the secret.
The secret of Requiem is that there is no secret.
The secret of Requiem is that it, like, he's just made like 5 different leaps in logic to get where he is. It kind of makes sense, but I can see him noticing the shadow thing and that kind of, but like knowing that there's a light source behind you, knowing what will do if you punch it.
Yeah.
Like that might have just killed him. Like if the sun behind your head is supposed to be a manifestation of your soul, I don't think punching it should destroy Requiem. I think punching it should make your soul just fucking die.
Yeah, that's probably like the first thing to jump to, if not like just something that you think of as a possibility and like.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Like if Diavolo had thought of that as a possibility, I don't think he would do that. He's not. With how cautious he is, I don't think he'd be that like possibly suicidal.
Like it definitely, the shadow thing definitely makes sense. Like that's pretty easy to notice if you're a Jojo character.
Yeah, if you're looking out for it, if you don't have to focus on walking because you're not having a body.
And like it also makes sense that he would be like, well, obviously because the light is coming from me, but like, why would you think that there's specifically a light source behind you? I don't like
behind your head. How did you know to punch it?
All of that is just weird.
Yeah, it's just leaps in logic to get the plot where it needs to go, essentially.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Giorno uses the trick that Polnareff used earlier. He with the blood.
Yeah, he uses Polnareff's blood
thing.
trick.
Yeah,
I like that. He also does a neat little blood trick here.
Yeah.
There's blood on King Crimson, which he imbued with life while it was splattered onto him, I guess, which lets him snap his fingers to turn it into ants, and the ants eat away at the wooden arrow shaft of the stand arrow.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Something like that. Oh, and then we get Shish's moment with the bullets. She softened them and then made them snap back, and the arrow was sent flying. I don't know. What I care more about is that this is her like standing up to her dad. She's asserting that she can defy fate like Diavolo and soar beyond him. It's nice.
It's great. It's beautiful. One might even say.
It makes me wish she had done more in this final stretch of the story.
Yeah. Very, very unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, at least we have a lot of lovely female fighters in part 6.
I'm gonna love that.
It's gonna be a good time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but King Crimson keeps going after the arrow, and when it looks like he's got it, he's like phases through it because Bucciolati's about to end the whole Freaky Friday flippage. he's destroying his son behind his head fully, which defeats Requiem fully, I guess.
Yeah, and everybody goes back into their bodies, or yeah,
Yeah, except Bucciolati, whose body is dead, so he starts ascending to heaven. It's
no,
Bucciolati's death scene is so just like angelic and serene. He's being ferried to the heavens by like some like little cherubs. It's
yeah,
so
he's a
it's
good
just
boy.
nice. Yeah, he's a good boy.
Yeah,
I just like it. Yeah,
unlike Doppio, who went to the deepest pits of hell.
probably
Yes,
better than what Diavolo got.
yeah. Well, Diavolo is like the Antichrist, so
Well, yeah,
you know.
yeah, but yeah, Bucciolati's death scene, his conversation with Giorno, and the way he leaves the arrowhead in Giorno's hand, it's all just so nice.
He's passing the torch over to Giorno.
Bucciolati, you were the golden wind. You were the golden wind of my life.
Yes, very
Yes.
wonderful.
And so now it's time. It's finally time to see it happen. Diavolo is gonna rushes in to take out Giorno, but it fails as he beats Gold Experience a into a pulp. Something is underneath. It sheds Gold Experience like a shell, and then above him floats Giorno with his hair with his braid undone, and he's got Gold Experience Requiem.
Ta-da! Yeah,
Da-da-da.
it's that thing that I see all over the internet.
I like him.
He looks very cool.
He do look cool.
I don't really like the look of Gold Experience Requiem that much, though.
It's
Yeah, could be could be better.
could be a little bit more gold.
More gold, yeah. Not gold enough.
I think it's the eyes. The eyes are kind of
Mm-hmm.
got little King Crimson eyes.
King Crimson Eyes.
Yeah. So Gold Experience. He shoots a little thing through Diavola's hand, and it turns a bunch of things into scorpions. And Diavola figures like, okay, its power is that it's supercharged. Gold Experience's normal life-giving powers. I can deal with that. Um, so he pumps out one more time skip, but as he tries to do the thing, everything starts reversing. It's Gold
Oh
Experience
no.
Requiem's power. Its power is thus. No. That's his power. No. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna skip time. No. I'm gonna punch you. No. I'm gonna splash blood in your face. No. Face the shots and bullet. No. That's his power. No.
No you.
Yeah. And this is where Giorno finally gives Diavolo the rebuke of his philosophy here, telling him that righteous actions won't be annihilated and that Diavolo will never reach the truth. And so Gold Experience just bashes the shit out of Diavolo.
Yeah.
Well, well, actually, before that, in the skipped time, we have Gold Experience speaking to Diavolo, telling him like kind of what his power is, and that even Giorno doesn't know. So this thing has consciousness beyond Giorno, which is crazy.
Well, isn't that like an I don't think that's like a very specific thing to Gold Experience Requiem. There's been other independent
Yeah, I know,
stands.
but like the idea that it has like usually when stands have their own consciousness, it's like them speaking to their user, like with Spice Girl and Echoes Act 3. the fact that this thing has like cosmic knowledge beyond Giorno is like crazy.
Yeah,
Beyond Giorno.
I suppose.
So yeah, Diavolo gets Mudad. I think the anime either left it out or censored it a little bit. But in the manga, Epitaph goes flying off of King Crimson's face.
Does it?
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, I see this. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That can happen?
I guess.
Okay, then. Oh, I guess if you can, like, cut off Gold Experience's arm, then you could
Yeah.
pop off the
You ripped
epitaph.
off one of my faces.
Not my second face! What will I do with only one?
So yeah, Diavolo gets knocked into the river. And Trish is like, we gotta finish him off. But Giorno's just kind of like, it's fine.
We good.
Yeah. And
He's gone.
Thus we start Diavolo's death loop. Diavolo's first death being from like a drugged out loon has to be intentional on Araki's part.
It was good. Well, yeah, because it was the drugs that he put through the community. Yeah.
Yeah. That's absolutely like karmic punishment.
It's good stuff.
It's an infinite death loop. He will never. He's living through all of this stuff he normally would skip with King Crimson, but he'll never end up reaching the truth. And what?
I forget. Do we get like a confirmation of like if he like dies in like the canon like universe and not like his infinite death loop, whatever that is? Like, is all of this just happening in his mind, or
no,
like
he's pretty much not in the like. I think how Giorno describes it is that Diavolo is not in this world anymore. So he's dead to the world, but he's alive out there somewhere, constantly dying and being reset.
Okay.
He's constantly bopping through infinite numbers of him dying.
All right. So, okay, that makes sense.
And fittingly enough, as the last we see of him, I just like how the first death is him like dying from like a drug addict. I think the last one, like having a little girl in it, may also be intentional regarding like how he's treated Trish. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch, but I like to think of it that way.
I mean, I don't know why else you would include that if not for that. So yeah.
Just so like he can be as pathetic as possible in the end. The last we see of him the last we see of him in this story is him cowering in fear from a little girl and yelling, "Stay the hell away from me!"
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think this is around the time we move into the epilogue of Sleeping Slaves.
Yeah. Well, we gotta. Oh yeah, it goes right into Sleeping Slaves.
Like the arc or not, Sleeping Slaves gives us the gang we lost along the way in one more scene together, and that's nice.
Uh-huh.
What did you think of this arc? This is kind of like a divisive
Sleeping Slaves?
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty cool way to end off the series. Not the part. Yeah, I mean, like, it's just like an extra little bit. We get to see the gang all back together, you know, after the deaths and like Fugo leaving and stuff. It has like the significance of like Bruno being like fated to die, as well as Abakio and Narancia. We find out at the end too, but yeah, it kind of like
thematic. It
it's yeah,
ties
it's
things
nice.
together. It
It
makes
like
the themes very clear.
yeah, I like how it's like placed like directly in between like well, directly before like uh Mista is going to go heal Bucciolati and find out that he's uh not alive. And
Yeah,
like with the significance of sleeping slaves, like it tells you like okay, we can kind of picture what's gonna go down and how Misa's gonna feel about everything once he finally
right,
realizes what's
right,
happened.
right. We have the guys all hanging out. They're having one last little kooky conversation about cannibalism.
Hmm.
Um, happens like in the middle of the first arc of part five because Likia Luca is dead, and it's like right before Bucciolati goes to meet Giorno about this.
Yeah.
But first we have a little scene with him interacting with this man who's trying to get Bucciolati to like investigate the former boyfriend of his dead daughter who died throwing herself out the window while clutching one of his sculptures, a little stone looking thing. Bucciolati puts Mista on it, and suddenly little stone statue is in Mista's seat. Whoa, it's a haunted rock. That rock
Oh.
keeps haunting him as Hugo and Bucciolati bring him to the apartment building. And eventually, in the elevator, he meets the user of the stand, Scolipi, another Jesus figure. He's got the little crown of thorns. His hands get stigmatized,
Yeah.
and we learn
He's good.
this stand, Rolling Stones. Uh, it follows people who are fated to die soon, and if it touches them, then they can die painlessly. And that's what happened to the daughter. She knew that her father was going to die of a disease, and then she would. But by taking the way out of the Rolling Stones, she like avoided the painful death and also saved her father by being able to give him her still healthy organs in the future. And that's essentially leads into the main idea of this arc is that Bucciolati is going to die, but if he touches the Rolling Stones, then he will die painlessly here and now. He'll avoid all of the conflict and strife.
Yeah.
But instead, Mista is able to save him, and because of that, Bucciolati gets to press onward into a by avoiding Rolling Stones. Bucciolati presses onward into a painful, very drawn out death where he essentially is like a zombie of himself. And by destroying Rolling Stones and changing the shape of it, Mista also ensures Abacchio and Narancia die as well. They weren't part of the sculpture until he changed the shape and they left. But as
Oh, I didn't
Scalipi
even
says,
pick up on that being a thing.
yeah, but as Scalipi says, by struggling like this, they've made things worse, but they may have changed things for the better, and that's kind of
Yeah.
the whole point. Fugo was originally going to see Jorna about Likiai Luca, and given Fugo's temper, you can probably bet that probably wouldn't have worked out.
Yeah.
But because of the sacrifices Bucciolati of Abacchio of Narancia, Giorno was able to make it to this point where he was able to defeat Diavolo and take over the gang and
Yeah, they
change things for the better.
because of this, Bucciolati was around to contribute. He was able to recruit Giorno and all of
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
he's able to lead them on the righteous path. Bucciolati says it himself right before the epilogue that they were sleeping slaves of fate, and that because of that they were able to play their role essentially
Yeah.
for the greater good.
And that really works well with like the whole like theming of the part where like they have to have the resolve to like sacrifice themselves.
the resolve
the
to struggle
yeah
against an indomitable fate.
yeah
And with all the talk about fate, not just in part 5, but like Jojo as a whole, Sleeping
there's
Slaves is
yeah
it's just fascinating as an epilogue, and I think part of why it's good is having the simple and relatable Mista as the character to follow through it.
yeah
We're kind of like in the same boat as him, not understanding all of this fate stuff. And so we go back to the present, and we see like Mista sees like a little stone statue and is reminded of it, and he thinks like, "Oh shit, it's back," but it's not. It's just Polnareff hanging out. He's the reason Trish suddenly disappeared, and he's just like, "Wait, take me with you." The turtle body is slow. Turns out he survived getting his soul sucked out by Requiem by just anchoring himself to Mr. President, and he's just gonna live on in the turtle. Why not, I guess. Maybe he can call up Jotaro, hang out in there, have some drinks. Oh yeah, Mista and Trish have this cute little interaction.
oh
They become
yeah
friends.
that was weird.
It's cute. They're
No,
they're
it's
friends
cute.
now. They're friends. They have a
I don't
little
know.
laugh together.
I just felt it felt to me like Araki was trying to push some kind of like romance thing.
I don't know
I
about
don't
that.
know.
They came across as like gal pals almost, the way they're
Yeah,
like
I guess. I don't know. It's so weird. But yeah, it's it's great that Trish is one of the she's one of the boys.
she's one of the gang stars now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Giorno takes the arrowhead and decides that he needs to live on for the others. And thus he gives Polnareff tells him to store the arrowhead in Mr. President. Oh, they can make Mr. President Requiem. There'll be a whole hotel. Yes.
Turns the entire world into the inside of a turtle.
Yes.
It's a whole pocket dimension. What if
Yeah,
all
yeah, Coco Jumbo, yeah,
what if
yeah,
all of
yeah.
parts 7 and 8 took place inside the turtle?
I'd believe it. At this point, I believe it.
that's
I would,
Jojo
I would,
lands.
I would legitimately love it if the end of the series revealed the universe of parts 7, 8, and 9, presumably 9, all took place inside of Mr. President Requiem because Giorno stuck the arrowhead inside and it had unforeseen consequences.
Yeah.
I would unironically love that.
Yes, that would be great.
And yeah.
Then we could finally find out what happened to the last 2 arrows.
Yes. Yes. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah, go Jumbo.
Wonderful.
Yep.
That was nice.
And so part 5 ends with Giorno becoming the Don of the Mafia at age 15.
Interesting.
In a single week.
Yes. Okay.
Got some homework to do. I left school for this.
I love he's just like a fucking middle school student.
He is, yeah.
He just disappears from school. He comes back next week. He's got like mafia. He's got gang stars waiting on him in the middle of class.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is my consigliere. Is that like a teacher's aide? No.
He puts a one kid was mean to him in gym class, so he puts a hit out on him.
Yeah.
Yep.
He used to take care of
good
him.
Stuff.
That's a good sound.
Mista misunderstands and takes care of him.
Yeah, takes care of him like a little, feeds him a little salami.
Yeah. Salami.
Giorno, before Gold Experience Requiem turns back to normal, Gold Experience Requiem looks at me. He's like, "Why haven't you been feeding me?" Oh shit! I forgot you need to do that.
Oh my god.
Like Tamagotchis, Giorno. It seems that way.
Like, I never played with Tamagotchis.
I'm too cool.
Miss me with that weeb shit.
I only care about ladybugs.
I love how like Polnareff just lives as a ghost inside of the turtle for a while.
Yep.
That's very that I was talking about how Polnareff lost his personality, but that's very Polnareff.
Yeah. Hey, this place. Did you say rent free? All right.
I mean, I was about to go to heaven, but man, this place is nice.
Yeah, we turn up the TV. We can get some hose in here. Giorno, you're in the mafia. Get some hose for me. All right, Mr. Polnareff.
Very nice.
Did you know that Polnareff is Giorno's number 2? Come Purple Haze feedback.
What?
Yeah, that the light novel. Remember that follows up on Fugo.
Like,
and it,
like the
Polnareff
number 2 in the Mafia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mista turned down that position because 2 times 2 is 4. I'm not joking.
What?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
I love it.
Honestly, Giorno should have just like made him his number 4 just to, out of spite.
Just to fucking. I'm the boss now. You can't. Well, who's number 3?
The turtle.
Yeah, the turtle itself. No, he like punches like a flower pot and turns it into a frog. This is Checkers the frog. He's my number 3. You are underneath Checkers the frog.
Honestly, I figured Polnareff wouldn't have stayed for that long.
I guess he got a taste for the organized crime life.
Yeah.
This is pretty nice.
One thing that's really sad is that Polnareff never got to meet Jotaro again. Because it was said that like he lost all contact with the outside world. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe now he can, because now
Maybe.
he doesn't have Diavolo on his ass.
Yeah.
They got a good 10 years until part 6.
Yeah, so that was part 5.
That was part
Pretty
5.
cool.
What did you think, Dylan?
I really liked it a lot.
Good.
Yeah, it's as of now, it's probably my second favorite part, but my first being part 2 still, but I need to like go back and reread part 2 because a lot of my opinions on part 2 is just based on what I knew at the time and how I reacted at the time. But now that I have like, I'll be able to compare it more to the more recent parts. So at some point I'll do that. But yeah, I really liked it. I liked the characters a lot. I'm gonna be honest, I still don't know what the fuck King Crimson does, but that's okay. And yeah. I really like Giorno as a protagonist.
Really?
Yeah, he's probably my probably my second favorite. Because like I don't know, I like his speeches and his dream to be a gangstar.
Yes.
He is gangstar.
I think part 5 is my number 3, but I think it's probably I think it's the most consistently good part.
Yeah.
I think part 6 and 7, I think go over it for me just because of the main characters. Giorno, I like a lot. I like his role in the story, but personality-wise, he just doesn't do it enough for me. I much prefer the likes of Jolene and Johnny in part 6 and 7, which is probably what bumps those up for me. But I really do like part 5. I have a lot of fond memories attached to it, and it's just overall very consistently good. I think it's the best part concerning like the main cast and how it's utilized. I feel like it does a lot better than stuff like Stardust Crusaders, Diamond is Unbreakable, especially Battle Tendency. Just being able to balance this main cast.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters.
With the exception of Trish and Fugo, but like even then they had moments of coolness. They were able to defeat an enemy.
They had moments in the parts where they were relevant, which with Fugo in like the first half, and then Trish in like the latter half. Yeah. I mean, I think it is like the most consistently good. There were definitely parts of like part 4 and like part 2 that I liked better than anything out of part 5, like on its own. But could just in terms of consistency, like it's good.
Yeah.
There weren't really any parts that I just like hated like at all, really.
Right. Same here. Even the arcs that I don't especially like Babyface or Clash of Talking Heads, still had parts of it that I really did like. And
oh yeah, the fucking what was it? The one where they were on the train. I forgot the name of that arc.
Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead. That was probably my favorite arc, like overall in the series. So there's that.
I still say White Album is my favorite.
White Album is good. It's got a cool like fast pace to it.
Yeah. So that's JoJo Part 5. What are we doing next, Dylan? What's our next series, baby?
Next series. We're starting a new series.
That's right.
Yeah. We're gonna be reading Soul Eater.
That's right. Soul Eater chapters 1 through 23. It's a monthly series, so we're doing less chapters per episode, and that's also corresponds to anime episodes 1 through 24. This will be the only episode I include the anime episodes for, because after that point
it gets a little bit more.
Yeah, that's when things start to diverge, and then like the end of the manga and anime are like very, very different.
Well, I think I think it's like 36 or something is where it like really diverges.
That's when like the main divergence happens, but I feel like after the point,
after this point it becomes like less of a direct adaptation.
Start to change up,
yeah.
But that's not all. That's not all we're reading, though, right?
Yeah. Soul Eater was created by Atsushi Okubo, and this was actually a second series. There was a first one named B.Ichi. B.Ichi, yeah. That was literally 20 chapters.
We're gonna cover.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. We were going to cover that very quickly at the start of next episode, just kind of give it a general overview.
Yeah.
Just we can kind of like, see how the mangaka changes over time.
See how his art style adapts, see how he gets better in some places. I'd imagine he gets a lot better considering his first manga was 20 chapters. And also the fact that I literally can't it was so difficult to find this manga.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And nobody fucking has ever read this shit. So if you're reading along, you really don't have to read this, because we're not gonna like go over it like in depth. We're just gonna like talk in general terms at the start and then just use that as like a jumping off point.
Essentially, yeah.
I think that's it.
Join us. Yeah, join us next time for some Soul Eater. Thank you.
Yeah, very.
Bye.
See you later.